Hello everyone, this is Wee. Welcome to the tragic story of how genuine but sadly blinded love wrecks a family in Devotion, a first-person atmospheric horror title developed by Red Candle Games. And since the game is titled Atmospheric, in this video I'll focus on how the environment, specifically the family's apartment, is that one shy, quiet, but amazing storyteller. Spoilers alert, I highly recommend you play the game first, but if you're in for the ride no matter what, sit back and enjoy. The story of Devotion revolves around a once picture-perfect Taiwanese family in the 1980s, with Du Fengyu as a father, constantly succeeding in his film writing career while being supported by his wife Gong Li Feng, who leaves the glamour of silver screen to take close care of their daughter Du Mei Shen, an aspiring young singer just like her mom. However, things turn indifferent as Feng Yu slowly falls behind as a screenwriter while aggressively protesting against his wife's career comeback for the sake of their falling ill daughter. And while finding the cure for Mei Xin, Feng Yu encounters Mentor He, a medium living upstairs, and starts getting remedies from her regarding the folk deity Xigu Guanyin, to the point when he rejects medical advice and only follows the mentor's teaching to heal his daughter. The tragedy peaks as Li Fang says farewell to the family, initially to find a healthier way to save Mei Xin, but when she finally returns, it's already too late. Since the disappearance of Li Fang, Feng Yu's obsession with a natural cure for Mei Xin increased drastically, and it's not until Feng Yu finishes a dark ritual taking his daughter's life that he realizes how insane he has become. Devotion starts with a peaceful scene with morning sunshine and freshly cooked meals made by your wife, who's chatting to you from the kitchen. It's all fun and games before your vision blurs and you start blacking out as soon as she asks, "Where's Mei Xin?" The game uses a non-linear narrative as you travel through different timelines with no distinct order after regaining consciousness. This is when you keep revisiting and revisiting the Du's apartment. Same old place, different timestamp. So, does the ambience alone help with deciphering the story? We'll see. I will divide the experience into before and after interacting with the objects, as well as compare the differences between the two visits side by side. The three main timelines are 1980, 1985, and 1986. In 1980, the apartment feels fresh and hopeful, and it sets in the golden hour. The house has no furniture, and there are boxes on the table, so the dude must be moving in. And yet, after arranging objects like Feng Yu's trophies and Li Feng's photos, the space becomes alive. In the second visit, the apartment is now filled with more decorations and guests, as seen from the big pile of shoes at the entrance, and a mahjong table and the usage. And later we get to be baby Mei Xin crawling around the objects in her birthday grab. Makes this visit a glimpse into the early days when welcoming Mei Xin to the Du family. By 1985, the apartment is darker with rain pouring outside. There are suitcases and traveling stuff outside the living room. It looks like the dude's about to go on a trip somewhere. But then we found Mei Xin lying on the sickbed. So maybe it's us coming back from a trip and getting caught in the rain and our daughter getting sick because of that. However, the second visit proved us wrong. There goes the same gloomy, stormy ambience and stacked suitcases, but this time with a brochure of a cancelled trip to Alishan and an extremely upset and self-doubting Mei Xin. And finally, by 1986, the apartment feels eerie and suffocating, as the house now packed with unpleasant-looking dolls replicating the family and the lack of natural light. But the good part is we get to see the family in person now, and they look fine with each other. So what could go wrong, right? But no. The house is filled with uneasy and pleasant red lighting, a lot of amulets and offerings. Now the house simply becomes a shrine for Feng Yu's obsession with Xigu Guanyin. It's no longer a home, but rather a space that's consumed by despair and spiritual desperation. As we can see, the apartment ships with the family's emotional state, like in 1980, is hopeful and full of life, But by 1985, everything went down bit by bit, and finally in 1986, it transformed into something totally different, a place that's not worth calling home anymore. And so that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed the game and my findings as well. If you're interested, don't forget to check out my blog about how to do Family's Apartment. It's a narrative element by its design and hidden symbolism. Hi again, this is Wee. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time.